Let me start by welcoming you back to this channel. My name is Augustine Nambe. It's been a while since we put up a show, but I'm glad to be back. It's been a hectic summer and a lot of projects to do, some of which you'll be seeing the results soon. But I just want to say that we haven't been staying lazy. We have been very busy, both myself and Rogers. But I'm glad to be back. And while I was away, I was collecting notes on what was happening out there. I couldn't bring them to you, but I know that it is important that we share a perspective of what's happening out there, both with our struggle and with other things that are not necessarily of our struggle, but do affect our struggle. So one of the articles that I made note of to share with you is a piece here that was published on July 24th by the BBC. And here, let me just read what it says. It says, it's titled, Algerians Say We to English. Algerians say we to English. We, like French, yes, to English. The Algerian government has ordered a switch from the French language to English in all communications within the country's universities. Up to now, official documents have been circulated in Arabic and French. The Minister of Higher Education said the dropping of French was part of a policy designed to encourage the use of English. He said the decision was also a response to the demands of students who want their degrees to be more easily recognized abroad. Okay, this is huge as far as our struggle goes, and as far as what is happening in our territory and what our people are rebelling against. We should know that the French have been part of Algeria since 1830. Since 1830, that is more than 100 years ago. More than 100 years ago. And after that, in fact, if you want to really add it until today, it's about 189 years ago. The French first went there in 1830, and the War of Algerian independence was between 1954 and 1962. So in 1962, Algeria had its independence and used the French language and the Arabic language as their own national languages. If you calculate between then and now, it's around 57 years. So from 1962 to today, it's about 57 years. But now they are saying no to French. Now, what is happening in our situation? We had been English speaking since 1846. Victoria celebrated 100 years of relationship with the British in 1958. So you can see how long we've been with the English, and how long the Algerians have been with the French. In fact, French was, you can say that French was part of the DNA of Algeria, the same as English is part of our DNA. But they are dumping French for English. What La République and the French are doing is they are trying to impose it on us. And that is what our people are saying no to. So we are on the right track. We are on the right track. French is a dying language. I've said that many times. And here is the most ridiculous part of it. As the French and the government of La République is trying to impose French in our territory, and they want to start teaching our children even before they are born this inferior language, the citizens of La République have been crowding our secondary schools, our schools, with their own children, wanting their children to learn English. I mean, I don't know if they think we are we're dumb asses or what, but I think the reaction that people have given is the right reaction. So, the British really didn't do very much in Ireland. They did not develop our infrastructure. They did not develop our economy. They did not kill us the way the French are doing. But the two things that they did for us. One, we benefited from learning English, which is the world's language. I'm not saying English is better than any of our other languages, but hey, we need to communicate with the rest of the world, and we need to access the information that is existing in the world that we did not develop or that is not in our land. That is the importance of being part of the English language, really, because most of the inventions in the world are developed by the Anglo-Saxon world, which is really a progressive world. In fact, it is said that a huge majority of the publications in the world of new information is published in English. It takes a certain number of years for information to then be translated into French and other languages. So you can tell that people who do not understand language, people who do not understand English or cannot communicate in English, it takes them, they're always behind in their information update. So that's why you see countries like Algeria switching to English. And so do not accept French to be taught in your country. What really happened to us in 1961 was that the British, in a conspiracy with the French and what they call their international partners, took us and buried us into a French colonial past, into a French colonial empire, and moved us back in our own development. It has taken us a long time to react to all of that, but we've reacted, and I think that we did the right thing and we should stick to it. It's not only Algerians who have done this. Remember Rwanda? That was part of a Belgian colony which also spoke French, and when the Belgians left, the French took it over because they want to keep promoting this inferior language. They want to keep imposing it because they really want to punch above their weight, and they've been pushing it through their language. And so Rwanda, that had been a French-speaking country also, had dumped French. So anybody who is trying to tell us that it is for our good and that is progress, or that speaking the French language is something, in La République, they've made it as though French is a cool language, and so you see our children struggling to speak French. And but just know that you have the better language. It's just that they gave us to savages, and they're bringing their savage language, and they're saying that for you to survive, you have to also become a savage and speak like a savage. Please, I think since 2017 we have said no to that, and we should stick to it.